Wow, so I've been trying to delete the files off my phone. Thank you very much, phone and God. Thank you so much. We're talking about a serious issue. When I was growing up, my dad was not an overtly religious person. At times, he was hostile to religion, and our religion was Christianity. At times, he was hostile, but he had a belief system. He had a sense of integrity and morality about him, and he also had an intellectual curiosity. So, he definitely was an adherent of Freud. He minored in psychology when he was in college. You realize that Freud had a disciple, Carl Jung, spelled Jung, so it could be pronounced Jung, but in German it would be pronounced Jung. I just stumbled upon a wonderful video because I was really searching for some answers. And please stop sending me narcissist stuff, okay? Whatever, because your problem, you're a narcissist, whatever. No, please. Oh, please, the bleeding victim on the sidewalk. Well, you're a bleeding victim. Yes, I'm a bleeding victim. Let's talk about the accident that precipitated the bleeding victim lying on the sidewalk. Okay, can we just, please, stop it. Stop it. Really, Jordan Peterson, what an interesting and really an original sort of psychologist, or psychiatrist, if you will. It's a little bit shameful to talk about the traditional Oedipal complex, but there can be an Oedipal or Oedipal dynamic in a family. If you know the ancient Greek story of Oedipus, he didn't know he was killing his father, but he ended up killing his father and marrying his mother. And Freud's theory, and I'm sorry if I'm mixing up Freud and Jung, and I don't mean to, but I might intermingle the two. Basically, at some point, if somebody does have an Oedipal complex, they want to do away with their father and replace their father. And their mother is going to be the Jocasta. The Jocasta in the story of Oedipus Rex. Look it up, Oedipus Rex. It seems weird and perverted, but really it's not weird and perverted. As Dr. Peterson was saying in the lecture that I was listening to today, some women it's normal for a woman to fall in love with her baby, but when she can't let go of that attachment, that emotional attachment, I cannot let go. If it's an only child, especially if it's a male child, there's a special bond between the mother and the child, particularly if the marriage is not what it should be. And I know that is the case, that the marriage was not what it should have been in the case of my husband's parents. That's all I need to say. I was trying to understand, why can we never escape the grip and the grasp of the person who can't let go? We all know the person who can't let go. It does have, after a few years and a few decades, it does have a deleterious effect upon families, and then eventually society, and then eventually the world. There's always the ripple effect to consider, folks. You can't let go. I'm not blaming you, but it's been a huge, huge, huge problem for me. Many times I have tried to encourage my husband, hey, let's strike out on our own, form our own business separate from your parents' business. No go. Mama said no. I'm not saying that maybe she will not, anything that she doesn't want, it doesn't happen. And ironically, or perhaps not so much, that's the way they viewed his father's mother. And that's the way they viewed my father's mother. The woman who tries to be the matriarch that is just an overbearing mother. And it's not funny, Smothered is a show on TLC. Like, you tune in for a few minutes, it's like, it's getting a little too, kitschy for me. The real life consequences are not so funny when a person can't let go. And I know that there was a point where I really think the clock's going to ding, but it's going to only be one time. Let's wait for the clock. We always have to wait for the clock. It always wants to interrupt. Is it telling me I've done something bad? Like, oh, I've offended people. I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Please don't tune me out. Give yourself a timeout and forgive me. Thank you. If I have offended, then God help me. Like, when I think about my mom's side of the family, her mom and dad only had 2 daughters, so there was not that dynamic. But I do believe the reason why my parents left the area where I was born was just basically to escape the controlling grasp of my father's mother. That's what I believe. My grandmother, my mother's mother, was caring, and she would call, not Karen, I don't think she was a Karen, she was very caring, and so she would call my mother faithfully every Sunday morning, and they would talk. Like, that's great. Well, if I try to call my kids, they don't want to talk to me, because they already have a mother, the matriarch. Oh gosh. You bristle under this, like the little donkey that's just, I'm so mad I want to be a horsey. I'm not a donkey. I'm not your little mule to play with. I'm a real horsey. No, you're not. You're not. Well, there's a problem. Until somebody with some sort of intellect can really, really analyze the whole dynamic here. And please just don't label me like, oh, she's, I hate that. Years ago, my oldest son was trying to explore what's wrong. And then he got his pop psychology. He bought his pop psychology bubble gum, and he decided, I'm the narcissist. Listen, the over-controlling matriarch, which I am not, is not a narcissist. They're a person that has a great fear, an extreme fear of letting go, and I think they're also very selfish. From a Christian perspective, why can't you let that boy have his own life? Why can't you let go? So please tune into that man that I mentioned. He doesn't endorse me. I'm endorsing him, but he's not endorsing me. If there's anything more that I should have said, you can let me know. This is a whole new channel. Adios, amigos.